Excuse me. I guess we're live. I'm having a bit of trouble with the YouTube stream today. Um, I feel like a bunch of lives are probably scheduled. Yes, that's weird. Yeah, I tried to. Let me go into Studio real quick and excuse me. Try to fix this. I'm not really sure why. Um, I'm not sure what the issue is, but I basically kept getting like go live errors. So I just want to take those off of the channel really quick. YouTube Studio. Hopefully that's fixed. Going forward, I'll have to look into that because that's a bit of a pain. Let's so in upcoming delete. Let's go edit. Or more actions, delete forever. I don't care, delete it. Okay. All right, cool. So that works. Let me pull up my trading view on my other chart. Hope everyone had a great weekend. I am gonna have to cut this one short today. I'll probably be back on if I haven't, met a trading goal. But if I have, then that'll be it, and we'll be done around like 10:30 today. That's if there's, if I can get back, then I'll get back. But I just have a meeting around that, so. Just scanning real quick these time frames on my trading view chart, which is on my laptop next to me. It's just what I keep my higher time frames on, so that way I don't have to switch back and forth all the time on my Topstep chart. I mainly use the Topstep chart for executions. So you'll see that right around midnight open, or actually below midnight, we actually have SMT between the indexes. So the 2 o'clock low on ES, right, to the 5:30 on NQ. So my immediate is possibly to get long here, or looking for longs. I do like the downside in terms of the structure, but in general, overall, I am looking for upside on ES to this high, at least this high, and then also NQ up into these highs. And at least this new day opening gap. I mean, so if the draw is up here, and up here, but we'll take profits into the new day opening gap depending on where we're entering it, relative. So let's just take a look at where we are at. So yeah, the downside does look very low resistance. You have these equals here, like just kind of very nonchalant, unmitigated lows. So we'll see, but so far the S&T is what's going to keep us at the short side until it goes lower, and then at that point, maybe we'll be looking higher anyway, so. I guess I'll go back to my channel, why not? Because I don't have it up on stream. I don't like keep OBS in a separate window, so I don't know if anybody's ever chatting. Not that I think, not that anybody has yet, but join the conversation, open a panel. What's that mean? Huh. Whatever. So yeah, if anybody ever ends up sending a message in the chat and I don't answer, it's not because I'm ignoring it, it's just because I don't see it, because I just never really have it open. So yeah, just the heads up. I would love if people came in here and were like talking and stuff. That would be cool. Probably make it a little bit more interesting for anybody that watches. Oh, and before I forget, if you like minimalistic logos, and a cool name, this is my brand Avanti. Avanti in Italian means forward. And basically the ethos behind the brand is just kind of always keep yourself moving forward towards your goals. And one of the taglines is we're all chasing it. So whatever your it is, we're all on the journey of achieving some form of our dreams or our passions. So if you like that message and if you like a clean logo and a simple design, check it out in the description below. It's pretty affordable. So yeah, if you like it, go for it. That's what I wear in most of my streams. The hoodies, we have t-shirts too. And there's no news today, so I'm gonna kind of be weary of that. I guess I could have taken a short from here to here, would have been a nice one with those pretty equals. Although those are more like stabbing down, and I don't really love to target that. And it's right around the SMT low. So I wonder if that's real on YM. And by real, I mean like the same as trading view. It is indeed. That's weird. Okay. Some old 4-hour gap over here that I'm looking at on ES. This is what my trading view charts look like, by the way. Yeah, NQ just kind of really folding over here. Going to take out that SMT low. I'm thinking that it may move into the midpoint now, the gap. I don't know why it would just kind of take the low and then float away. So that would be the new kind of destination. We'll see if ES wants to speed up now. It seems like ES should probably take these lows down here into this gap again. So we just have divergence now in this wickless candle coming into this order block. And ES still holding its London session low here. And again, if anybody's wondering what the constant tapping or whatever is, it's been trying to learn how to shuffle poker chips, so that's what I do now. It's like my new kind of fidget toy as I wait for these trades to present themselves. So interesting move there, leaves the midpoint alone. Yes, stays strong. on the SMT low. Strong wick there, a 5 minute, and it seems like it's just kind of pushing straight up. And again, I'm not like, downside is not really what I'm aiming for. So I am looking to get long. It's just I don't know if I love that in the long. I think it's just the just shy of the midpoint sort of. Oh wow. Okay, so that's different. So let's look at NQ now. NQ actually did stab up into the midpoint of that new week opening gap. I've seen a lot of discrepancies lately between the two data feeds, which is pretty annoying. I'm just seeing if it went into this gap down here, because that's the same. But what's not the same is the fact that NQ had traveled below into the midpoint of its new week opening gap, and then here it did not. So, and actually, if you remember, on Friday, there was a very similar discrepancy, and I got long, and I got absolutely steamrolled over it. So I'm gonna just sit still here and act like it never happened. And if I miss the low risk or the smart money reversal, then it's fine. So next possibility, obviously, is the lows of the week so far, which are down here. So let's mark these out. Here comes ES to take this low. I'm just gonna get rid of the SMT because that's not gonna hold. And if it does, great, but I don't really care about it anymore, so it's not pertinent information anymore. So now you have NQ kind of rolling into that 5 minute gap, or at least close to it, and right into its new week opening gap midpoint. Still not interested in doing anything just yet. Kind of want to see some sort of an objective be met, or at least something a little bit more obvious. Right now it still seems like we could go either way. So for that reason, I'm sitting on my hands. No reason to force anything just yet. Really ever for that matter, but you get what I'm saying. So now we have a bit of a push out of that midpoint. Let's run into the lower time frames here. I still don't like how we're diverging on the ES and the NQ contract though. Or not ES and NQ, the NQ and the MNQ between Topstep X and TradingView. What I do like though is how ES on more of a bullish note is how ES is using the top of its new week opening gap as support, and NQ is finding support at the midpoint. That's they're not synced but are, if that makes sense. So they're not synced in terms of location. NQ's at a bit of a deeper discount relative to the weekly as well, and ES, but they're finding support at similar destinations. So I do like to see that as well. If I was bullish on the upside, which I am, but kind of giving things a chance to work itself out. We're also below midnight on NQ. This This is also not a bad spot, the inversion after it's completely balanced it. Where are you at? 1880. It's like a 40 point. I had to get long a lot sooner if I wanted to take it there, just in terms of risk. Can YM tell me anything? No, not really. Ow. One, two, three, maybe. So all these consecutive down closes, and we also have this breaker. I'm going to take one there. Let's switch this back to dollars. Where do I do that? Here, dollar, save. So let's see if this breaker can hold us. Chased it. Off midnight. I'll add one just if I can get the bounce off midnight here. And we're in this 1 minute fair value gap. I don't like how it's digging into this. And you can see how the candle's like printing. I'm not really crazy about that action. Actually, may want to go back into here. Yeah, I'm going to dump out of that one. I just don't feel like I'm on sides. It's okay. Got antsy. I just don't know if we've met the downside destination yet. That's going to convince me otherwise, I guess. You know, it's where it's going to have to. See if we reclaim it, then I guess I'll try. It's not two breakers. One in here, one over there. Somehow always catching the tops of these moves. Wish I was shorting. Yeah, I knew this. It's just not great. Gabe. What are we doing? All right, it's got to blow through this gap. Add another one into that. Just gonna watch if ES takes this high up here. Let's go off to the races now. Might come down, try to rebalance this wickless candle. We'll see. But basically what I saw was breaker, you know, from this low. this high, lower low, breaker again. So just stacking these breakers and just kind of looking to see if we get some long action here. I guess that's SMT on the 5 minute. So if you look on the 5 here, that's slight SMT. Not moving into this gap. But I mean, that's like crazy to let it go there. That's a little wild. Incredibly difficult long to hold. Wow. Very high resistance. I took off one there. I just yeah. I'm not playing that game. That's gross. I'm just not really willing to short it though. Like I'm having a hard time flipping to the other side given the structure that we're building. Like it's very weak to the upside, but we're just not respecting anything bullish. I'm just going to get rid of these because these are obviously meaningless at the moment. This 1 minute gap is about the only thing that I kind of care about. So right now I'm just kind of looking if it's going to give up midnight, and if it does, do I get short off of that? I don't like the way these candles are. They're wickless, but at the same time, I don't know if they're truly wickless because Topstep's data feed has been super weird. So it's like hard for me to really make a move. I do feel like someone's got to take this high. That's why I kept hovering over it. So either ES or NQ or both will. That's a bit of a cue. Or, we'll just wait for the 10 o'clock open at this point. Let's look at the 4 hour. Yeah, it's just a bunch of chop. So we'll see. We could get a change in state here on the 1 hour. And that may give us the downside bias. On a 1 minute, that's clean, looking for a short. Anticipating the next 1 hour to open, slight high, and go lower. I'm going to try it if it gives it to me. Maybe up a little bit higher or something. Actually, you know what? Wait for 10 o'clock. You say you're going to wait for 10 o'clock, wait for 10 o'clock. Let's watch it reverse right at 10. Okay, there goes 10. We do have change in state of delivery on the 1 hour. I had a feeling we'd make a little bit bigger of a wick, so that's why I dipped out of that limit. See if it takes this high. Yeah, you probably really don't want it to, though. I get short, and I'm just adding into that move, looking for it to kind of roll over here. Although you still have S&T with ES, I'm just kind of not. So if you look at the hourly, there still was S&T with ES on these lows. So we'll see. I mean, like NQ's taking this, it's taking this, all the way over here. I could be in trouble. Yeah. I'm thinking about reversing the position just because of ES reaction off the weekly opening price, and then its reaction off of sweeping, but I'm going to give it a chance just to create this like trend line liquidity and roll over if it's going to choose to do that. I'm going to start building longs here. Building longs off of the invalidation of this candle's high. Just the reaction off of ES and how we have SMT on this hourly chart. Like we have all these lows that were left alone. NQ has these equal highs up here. So we're just going to kind of go for it. See if I can get another one in there. Just going to add into the move. I don't really want to see it slow down after taking highs either. Like I just kind of want to see it rip to the upside. I don't want to see it get stuck much. Oh, just into the 15-minute gap there is a little sketch. But again, I think someone's got to take this high. So I'm gonna just note that. Oh, there we go. Nice. Beautiful. Okay, so someone took that high now. I'm debating on whether I want to hold the trade or not. I mean, I still have my bias is up. I just don't want to take, like, I have an opportunity to get out kind of scratch on a shitty day. I'm going to hold for now just because I do believe that the draw is up. We did have that sort of explosive movement. The real thing that I'm kind of battling right now is like, do I think it's going to retrace? And I don't know, like to my entry, because if it's going to retrace to my entry, then it's not worth me holding. Because I could always get back in, I could lock in profits up here. That is the conundrum. Something is very wrong with the data between TradingView and Topstep X because I'm seeing totally different stuff here. I could have drawn it wrong. I'm just gonna double check that. And we'll stop through the stop and edit break even. Yeah, no, I mean, that's all right. And that's all right. So if you see on Topstep X, we actually have a lot more movement on the upside above the new week opening gap than it presents up here, right? So it's a 5 minute, that's a 5 minute. See how we've really moved above it and built this structure when this structure is way inside the new week opening gap? That is a little suspect to me. And now we're getting stuck at the top of the new week opening gap, but we're really not there. On a, like, let's look at the 1 minute, see how we're getting stuck at the top of it, but we're not even there on the 1 minute on NQ. Like, that's a little annoying. I think I'm gonna dump out of it. I just don't, the chart discrepancies, like, not for me right now because it's too hard to tell, like, where are we actually? Because that type of stuff is really what I base my decision making off of is, you know, if that was the true point, right? And I tend to go with NQ mostly, just because I see that as the more legitimate contract rather than the micros. But like, if I saw, I don't know, if I saw it getting stuck at the top of the, like right at the weekly opening price on NQ, then I would probably like really be prone to dump out of it. I don't know, it's too hard to tell. So I kind of knew I was in trouble on the short side. Well, I guess let me just completely start over here. So the short side, what I liked here was an attempt at trading the, so we've been trying to get long all morning, right? It's just not working, or it was not working, right? So now we have change in state of delivery on the 1 hour with this low and this close. So what I was trying to do is I was trying to get it on side with a short move, right? Trading the open high low, the open high of the next hourly candle, which would have been open high small wick, preferably. Keeping this order block because so this is an important up close candle that reached into this gap, rebalanced this gap, right? Then we have a strong close below. This high shouldn't be violated. So we're starting to move lower. NQ sweeps more on the micro time frames, and ES moves, kind of prints the same sort of wick, but into its weekly opening price and has this strong sort of reaction up. You'll also notice on the 1 hour that ES did not create a change in state of delivery on the 1 hour. It's also been the stronger index all morning. There's also SMT on the lows. So it's not the most clear SMT, but whatever. And again, we were kind of long biased all morning anyway. So I guess I was just trying to get short just to, I guess that's like my bad. I don't know. I'm just trying to trade what was in front of me. I was trying to abandon my bias really because sometimes, that'll murder you on itself. But anywho, once we took this high, I kind of knew I was like, all right. And also you see these equal highs here. So I figured the least I'm going to get is an opportunity at a nice little scalp to the upside to move into this gap. And I had my eye on this high as well, looking for someone to diverge within like the microstructure. That obviously that didn't happen. We kind of just blasted through it. So after seeing this movement and how strong ES has been around its weekly open and how it used that weekly open and how NQ was basically stabbing below lows, below midnight, below its weekly open, already punched off the new week opening gap midpoint. That was safe for me to kind of reverse my thinking and say, okay, let's get long for a move to these highs. We get a good push up. Then it's all about, I still believe in those highs. It's just about, I was down, okay? The whole thought process was, yeah, I mean, there's the discrepancies between the two contracts, but more so, do I believe, because I'm not going to take a loss in that position anymore, it just doesn't make any sense. The question was, do I believe that the stop a break-even stop is safe from retracement from this point forward. And like that's kind of a look, I mean, there's no real way. Obviously, if it was a good move, it would just kind of burst all the way through and I really wouldn't have to think about it. But because it was getting stuck at the top of that weekly open on the micro contract, even though it's not anywhere near so on the NQ contract, which is really annoying, I chose to just kind of take it off and be even on the day because I do have to leave soon. I didn't want to go into that meeting with any sort of negative headspace. So yeah, I figured, you know what, and another key point of the decision making was, this erases any of the stupid mistakes that I made this morning, which was just kind of getting, caught in the wrong place at the wrong time. So yeah, I just figured, why would I give up the $100 or whatever to get even when if it's going to retrace down there and give me a value long, then I'll just take it, which it's kind of is. Let's look into the micro time frame and see if we can get another entry. So it did move into that wickless candle. Just skeeving me out with this like contract difference here. Like each contract is giving me differing information. Let's look on 1 minute and see if there's anything a little bit more clear. Okay, cool. Nice, man. I honestly, I've never had problems like this with Topstep's platform. I really never have. I've never, or at least not like, it's happened here and there, but it's never been so like consistently wrong. Like there's never been so many consistent bugs with the platform, so I really don't understand what's happening. Again, so I'll send some links into Topstep to see if they could look into it. But I've never seen, like it's never been like this. So nobody should get the wrong impression here that it's a bad platform. I typically have had really good, views on it, and I still do. It's just like this is kind of unacceptable. Like the data difference between, NQ here and MNQ, like that's just not right. That needs to be fixed because we're talking like major difference. So here's the hourly on MNQ in relation to the weekly open. And then here's the hourly on NQ. Like look at the bodies. The bodies of the 1 hour candles aren't even close to the upside. And they're over the weekly open here. So I don't know. I would love for that to be fixed. So I'm going to look at this area here as balanced. So we go from here to here. This to me is balanced from all the passes. If it can break above that, that might be a decent long. Or I would take like a feeder long, like in this area, and assume it's going to go higher. What is that, the 15-minute actually? I try to get one off in there as it moves into this gap and the midpoint of the balanced area. So the bodies are respecting it, but I'm anticipating it to be disrespected. So that's why I took the long towards the midpoint of it. You might want to come down into this volume imbalance, but the reason why I entered when I did was because of this gap on the 15-second right in here. That's a nice move out of there. I'd like it to just run through now, though. Whoa. Okay, maybe not. I'm gonna dip out of that. What's weird is how on the 1 minute it's not even printing that upside wick. It's not even showing that. So yeah, Topstep data is weird today. And so is this price action. So I think we may kind of escape with little to no blood here. Just try to call it how it is. That was a good idea, just didn't work. You can see we respected the balance. Finally loaded in that wick. Yeah, tricky morning so far. We do have a, 15-minute. Could be a fake move out of the 15-minute fair value gap, or it's real and it's going to just end up taking this low. But what I mean by fake move is like it's just going to react out of this gap for pattern's sake, but probably fail in the overall narrative. I think I'm bleeding. Yeah, just I think I'm avoiding the downside. It might be downside just because it's Monday and we're going to put in that like weekly kind of low. Like we're going to move lower on the weekly. But I just don't know. It's a whole lot of respect for it, for all these bearish arrays. I'll tell you that. Balance area gets shoved. Then have a nice little 1 minute jab into this fair value, a little IOFED. But then we have these like strong rallies. Like these really strong pushes. So someone's trying to position for a long, but they just keep kind of getting shoved around. Another move up into the balance. I'm watching this high on ES, this little 1 minute high, because that would be multiple SMT, but it's not. Just looking for, are we short, are we long? Again, there's the SMT on the hourly on the lows, so I'm not, like as ugly as the upside, is forming out to be, I'm not really so quick to be in a short. At the same time, the longs have been so incredibly difficult to get behind. Here's There's that balance area again. Do have a little SMT there on the between ES and NQ, which is nice, a little flip-flopping, which is kind of what I look for. I would love to use this as a breakaway gap, but I don't like how this structure is below it. Yep. It's really selling the short here. To me, it's like, yo, bid it down, bid it down. Hmm. Just respecting that midpoint for now, that balance range. So you do have the SMT between these lows. It's just incredible. I'm finding it incredibly hard to trust. To take a short, or I mean, excuse me, to take a long. Like, I like where it's happening too. I like how it's around the weekly open for ES. That's where it was strong, and it's right below midnight for NQ. I just, I don't know. It's very difficult. Like, the narrative is pretty clean, but the action is very hard to get involved in. Like, the action's not as pretty or confidence inducing per se. So I'll just continue to shuffle my poker chips and wait. For now, it's pushing out of that SMT. but holding that balanced 1 minute range. I don't believe there's any, like absolutely any news today. I'm gonna double check. All right, at 11 you have NY Fed 1-year consumer inflation expectations, but I don't know about all that jazz. I'm getting long. I don't know. You have the 1 minute SMT. We're kind of building through this gap. It's playing with the upper end of this balance range, but I mean, there's just so much bullish SMT on the lows. So it's either going to like steamroll it and get rid of it, or it's going to, or we're going to just push through. And it just seems like it's a sloppy but hard to hold, hard to hold long. ES still just finding support around that weekly open. Like I just feel like the narrative for the longs is stronger right now. And as ugly as it is, that just might be the opportunity. So I'm only going to trade 1 micro here. Due to the confidence. We now have SMT on the upside between those swings you could see. That's this swing right here between ES and NQ. What I do like is how we finally made it out of the balanced area on NQ. I also just liked on the 15-second how we were kind of came down, building structure, supporting down close candles, supporting each other. Yeah, I don't know. Just at some point you kind of gotta trust the narrative and know that price is going to be a little bit ugly. All right, that's my alarm. My meeting is going to be in like 10 minutes. So I'm going to have to cut the stream soon. We'll just see how this one plays out for a little bit while longer. You have an immediate rebalance on the 1 minute. I believe that's also true on the regular chart. It's not actually, so that kind of sucks, but that's typically good news. I'm going to put an even stop in here. And we'll just kind of hold this. See what happens. And if I have to dip, for my stuff, I'll just you'll know. You will know. So what I'm doing, like in terms of trade management here, I'm just kind of waiting to see what the regular NQ contract is going to do on TradingView as far as the weekly open. So if I switch all the way back to here, I just want to see if it wants to come back, like if the NQ contract is going to come up and tap up into this high or into this weekly opening price. If that's the case, I'm in decent shape, I think, for a nice long. I do wish I had a little bit more on the position just so I could manage it a little bit easier, taking some off. Oh my God, come on. All right, I mean, what sucks is we're right at this set of down close candles open, which is kind of where I would expect it to find some support, but we'll just hope and pray that it doesn't have to come down there because it's within the balance. So it may shoot into there and then just rock it up, and then if that's the case, that really sucks. That'll just be what it'll be. So also, I wouldn't leave my stop. Like I wouldn't be like, oh, I'm going to take off the stop and let it kind of you know, dip into there and then see what happens, because there's only two things that I think are going to happen at that area. It's either going to plow right through it and like dump 200 points, or it's going to be so quick to like, or it's going to be like the quick kind of jab where, you know, it comes down and rips into it, and that's it. Or and then reverses. So, however, I'm just not willing to risk the former scenario of like just getting steamrolled. It's been too hard of a day anyway. Not incredibly confidence inspiring here. I think what the problem is while you do have the immediate rebalance on MNQ here, where we came down and tapped into that 1 minute low, you'll see that NQ did not. It's actually left a small gap. I actually hate these little gaps because typically if they get kind of ran on, they don't act like a larger gap would. They don't really hold price as well. So if they get ran on, they kind of run deeper through it. And that would mean bad things for my stop placement. 30-second is not great as far as how these wicks are formed. On the lows, they're just like very low resistance. So I don't know. Hopefully it just kind of propels itself way higher, and I don't really have to worry about it. And I'll just worry about it coming back to take it later, but at the moment I hate seeing stuff like that. Because especially on low time frames, markets usually come in and correct smooth support. Definitely uncomfortable. I hate how it's stuttering up here at the highs, and how, so look how ES took that little 1 minute swing and NQ has not yet. I'm not comfortable until it really runs over ES. Now I'm a little bit more comfortable, but there's just now the chance that it swept the high and then it'll come back down anyway. So what we really need is follow through around here. I'm just keeping an eye on the TradingView chart to my left, because that I would like to see again. Like I said, I'd like to see it run higher into that respective weekly open. Oh no, it's going to do it, isn't it? I'm just kind of getting ready to close this one out. I don't like that print. Come on, invert, invert and run. Invert and run. Invert and run. Because if it doesn't, it's probably going to go sweep higher. And in that case, we're chalked for our position. Ooh. Yeah, we're cooked. We are cooked. That sucks. hopefully I'm just wrong about the, like how it's going to work on the downside. Like hopefully I just, you know, completely get it wrong there. And, you know, it's just luring shorts in on like the small time frames. I hope so. I really do. Because those are some nasty, nasty retracements. On the micro time, like if you look at microstructure, like that's gross. That's very high resistance. Come on. Now invert and run. If it sweeps the high and turn around, it's no bueno. Come on. Go. We're going to bump the stop up at least to these highs. No point in taking it out or a break even here. Now you're going to use this. I just want to measure real quick on NQ from, okay. I'm dipping. I gotta go anyway. I have that meeting in like 5 minutes. Uh, that's okay. I'm not stressing over it running higher immediately. I don't. So what I just marked out was the quarter point of the new week opening gap. So here to here, you can see that's where we found support. We built some like equal support there. I got a weird vibe from it that we may want to dip below and then resume. Uh, midpoint of this leg held. That's fine. I just wanted to lock it in. I can come back later. It's also no news Monday. It's a very difficult Monday. We struggled early on, and I just, you know, I don't have it in me to sit through this trade right now and, you know, feel like a dunce if it comes out and takes me even. I mean, it's clearly just not moving very fast. It may be waiting for 11 o'clock. It may mosey around. Like, who knows? All I know is I can't focus on the charts anymore right now. Anyway, I have that meeting, so I'm gonna end it here. I may resume the stream after the fact, but yeah, I'll let you know. If you see me live, then that'll be the case. All right, later. Thanks for watching.